Hello everyone, welcome to a brand new day. I hope you're all doing well. We are back with some more artwork. One of my university projects, which is the Conan comic. Also, this has decided to change mic. There we go, now you can see me speak. I hope everyone's been having a lovely week so far. Right, so a little bit of background in terms of what I've done so far, as some of you guys have not necessarily seen all the stuff here. So this is initially the kind of storyboarding I had for this paneling, this book, though I have changed it up a little bit. The saga of Conan and the Snick Slayer. Yes, indeed. But what I have done since then, actually, the things you saw after the fact were, oh, there we go. We had gotten these two bits done. So we had this more dynamic view posing, though I need to change this guy up a little bit, but we'll do that today. Welcome back, Canine. Unfortunately, you are not the first. Amy has beaten you to the punch, Canine. And we also got this viewing of a big old sneak boy about to grab onto Conan. However, done a little bit more work. But I got here first. I need to do like a first redeem or something like that, so you all can so you all can do the redeem to prove you were here first. But I have done a little more in terms of the actual reworkings of the panel. So if I do this, so as you can see, I've changed this part up a little bit. A woo! And a woo for you, Amy, and thank you for the head pats. But yeah, we have more kind of work here now. So the first two panels are the same. You do have the first a woo. But we got the first kind of panel the same, where it's the giant snake going against the our titular hero, and I'm your favorite moth. You are an adorable moth, yes. So that fair enough. But Conan drawing the sword. This scene I discussed already. This scene I've discussed already. It's this part that I've primarily changed. So this scene is stayed the same. Kind of. So we got a more kind of close-in view of Conan with his pecs, his torso. We then got a lunging action with the sword. As we then go into the scene, as we see kind of the full length of the sword starting to be buried into the snake. And then I've got a very rough sketch of how this scene goes. The sizing of this. Yeah, this scene where we have kind of a reverse of this, essentially. So we're going to do a bit more work, a little bit more tidying up of some of these things, and then we're going to actually get a actual line work down. So let's actually update this part a little bit. So 1, 2, 3, 4, panel 4. Ideally, what I essentially need him to do is have his torso a little bit lower, and his sword arm a little bit straighter. To be like that, essentially. Really kind of emphasize that swing. That's essentially what we're going to be aiming for. And There we go. Whoops. Right, so it's essentially going to be on. I'll make. Actually, I can make that a little smaller. Hang on. Well, something like that, I'd say. Kind of what we're aiming for. This big compressed easily. Go from there to. Something like that, I think. Actually, delete that layer. Yes, we're gonna duplicate this one. There, that's what. There we go. So what I can do now, I can hide this one, but still make changes on the other one for a moment, without really having to worry too much. Keep that visible for 2 seconds. What are we gonna do? Erase all of this. I can then. A little bit more in terms of the posing, but I'll have my reference there a little bit. Okay, yes, so something along this line. I think is why. That arm's too big. Actually, you know what? Hold on. I know a way I need to do this. No, I don't think they can, K9. I definitely think that it's something you have on most people here. In terms of the streaks, I think you are probably one of the only people with a 40 streak. Also, hey Nate, thank you so much for the hydrate. Hope you're doing well. Let's build out the body quick. So body. Want to get VIP? Hey, I would imagine that I would imagine that you're pretty close. Ooh, actually, hang on. Do this. To have it a bit angled so it's kind of heading towards us a little. Okay, I think that works a bit better in regarding giving a little bit more of that dynamic fluidity. "30 sweet streams for a cutie." Oh, thank you. Thank you so much, Nate, for your 30 stream streak as well. So we got K9 with boy and Nate with 30. Or at least the ones that Twitch has recognized. Because I know there are lots of lovely beings who do come on by here very regularly, like Amy, for example. I know they come along quite often. And Nomad as well, but Nomad is Nomad is my mod, so I would hope he comes on by every once in a while at least. Oh, I will ask as well, in terms of music volume to my voice, how is it? Is it a nice balance? Not overpowering it, and it's not overpowering me. So the it not overpowering me is probably the more important. Find this with Glare below. Or after. Yes, I think that looks better as a whole. 'Cause, 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 'cause need to clean up Conan here. Again, that's the rough line. Also, I've just... This is... There we go. I need that to be in place. There we go. Oh, wait, hang on. There we go. That panel up top somehow changed. It's okay, but when the music swells up, you're a bit hard to understand. Good to know. Thank you. What I'll do, I'm going to turn it down ever so slightly on Steam, because that's where I've got that sound coming from. Hopefully that's a bit better when it gets to the swelling part, but we'll see how it goes. Right. I guess one thing that I've not really actually had fixed is what my Conan actually looks like. I don't think I've gone through a character design for Conan. I'm giving them kind of this very generic kind of look. Really, in terms of this posing again, similar again to what we've done up here. Actually, no, I need to make that a little shorter. Reason being, we have a foreshortening situation going on. King. Maybe make that a little bit smaller, but overall... Overall, I think that's better. Okay. There we go. I think that works well with what we want. Now for some quick organization. Again, copy and more specifically paste. What I can do at this stage is segregate everything into panels. And then from there, I can then do all of the relevant work in those panels. So, sketching, line art, any sort of renderings, colors, And then I'll have background as its own separate folders. More than likely, anyways. Accidentally hit copy when I meant to hit paste. So to kind of reiterate our journey, we have gone from sorry, I'm just loading up a couple of things. What that needs to download. Okay, come on, let me actually interact with Photoshop now. Hurry up with the download. I didn't mean for this to take long. It didn't even open the bastard. Well, I can't interact with it still, so I'm guessing it's doing something. Oh. That's not the image I tried opening. None the fuck? There we go. So, we went from... Yeah. We went from our very simplistic storyboarding. Got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11 panels. With Snake Creature and Conan. Snake Creature viewpoint, charging. Swing. Stabs forward, stabs into him. Creature turns around in pain. Both glaring at each other. Creature chokes him out. Falling down. They're choking each other out. For a more refined storyboard, which was, you know, similar beats, but a little bit more, but not as many. So we had 10 panels here. So Creature and Conan standing off, drawing of the blade. Creature tries to strike down with an arm, gets swiped at. Close up at angry Conan. Posture of him charging forward. Blade goes in, sinking blade, howls in pain. Conan stands over the creature. From our final kind of product, as it were, to this, where again we have more of the situation of Conan and Creature square off against each other. Conan draws his blade. Creature is pouncing upon him. Conan goes in for a swing. We see that swing action here. Pulls sword into his chest, lunges outwards, stabs into the creature, and then we see this kind of intimidation scene where the snake is on the ground, kind of wounded, looking kind of up at the figure of Conan approaching, he now being the bigger kind of entity on the panel in comparison to previous times as he approaches to finish the snake off. Also, before I forget, I'm going to save this layer comp. Get. Okay, so if I want to reference this, I can just go back to this sketch layout. And now we do the kind of harder task now of actually starting to really define our pieces. So bear with me, because I'll be honest, I'm probably not going to do great, but we will see how it goes. I'll start with panel 1. For 1 long. This is where we now put more definition to these moments. Hang on. I need to look up snake fangs. Hey, Nomad. Hope you're doing well. Oh, actually, I think I know what's throwing me off. So the closest one's going to be here. Something like that. Send a stream streak? Hell yeah, Nomad. Thank you so much. You do some rotations here. Right. Wide line. Gather on more of a connection point here. rotation. Get that over the line there. Okay. Oh. That thick there, and then we're gonna try to ease off the pressure a little bit. And in. I don't think that's too bad in terms of the line weight for a lot of these things. And the other thing of the
jingle, 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 jingle. Pay attention, pay attention. Dingle, dangle, dingle, dangle.
Huh? Yes? Hello? Yes, Nate, you have my attention. No, I could just leave that flat. Oh, wait, no, actually. Okay, that looks better. Messages up. Oh, hey Fang, did you send that email in the end? Also, please do save. I will save. Email is going to be done after the stream, Nate. As I say, I'll get them. I'm gonna get it sent out to them tomorrow. But I will say, if you can, just send me anything you want added into the email, so I can make sure that's done. Right, now for the tough part. I need to figure out what Conan actually looks like. I'm gonna go back to the sketch panel for 2 seconds. Because here's the back. Shoulder blade there, shoulder blade there. Okay. Because our boy does have hair. Let's say if we go for that sort of... this sort of length. eyes here, actually. Yeah, I think that's what we're going to do. So, so potentially add a headband there, I think. But you just rotate the forehead. It's going to come over the just above the ear. Yeah, that looks right. Also, webcam is set up for tomorrow? Hell yeah. There's further muscle definition happening here, but I can't. I'll need to look that one up afterwards, but I think so far, coming along alright. You go back to the sketch for 2 seconds. I'm not gonna worry about nails right now. I got fingers. That's all I need. There we go. And then theoretically, what's gonna happen is once I'll just add a little bit of color in for a moment. Once I start adding in color, yeah, it's gonna go over the border. Whatever I do will cover up the borders. Yeah, covers up the borders, but not the line working. But that comes later. Now we're going to move over to panel 2. Panel 2. I'm not going to lie, this is relatively basically done for the line work. It's just I'm cleaning it up. Making the fullers thinner, they don't have as much of a depression in comparison to the actual blade itself. Right, now time to copy the hand. Also, I forgot to load the opacity for this. That will make things easier. Double viewings of Gurg. Makes burp, hydrate. Mind is bloody hydrate one. There it is, drink water. You drink water. Then I'm gonna make Gurg drink. Take that, nerds. I made them all drink water. Oh, actually, what I should probably do. Didn't do with the other one, but it's fine. I can sword line. Then I'll do. There we go. And mine. I'm actually trying to figure out the best way to approach this. Let's get the thumb in. Okay, there we go. I think that's how I want to do that. This index finger in. This needs to go in the sketch part quick.